K1025 playing Kalamazoo's greatest hits of the 70s, 80s, and more. Good morning. My name is Eric Meyer, and you've heard us talk about on the air for the last couple of weeks that it is bell ringing season in Kalamazoo in Southwest Michigan. And I'm here with Tim Summers, who's the Director of Development for the Salvation Army of Kalamazoo. And Tim, I wanted to get you on the air to tell us a little bit more about this year's campaign and how you can start a new family tradition in being a bell ringer.
Thanks so much for having us. Bell ringing in Kalamazoo is a tradition that's been going on for decades. We only use volunteers to bell ring for us, and it's so important for us to have somebody at the kettle ringing the bell, because if there's no one there, people just walk by. And the need this year is no different than it's been in the last several years. There's so much need out in our community, and all those dollars that are raised in our kettles stays right here in Kalamazoo.
Yeah, and you were telling me about that, and I want you to dive into that a little bit more. And not to name any other charities, because everybody does do good work, but particularly with the Salvation Army, and I've seen what happens down at the core with the services you provide. A lot of the money raised during the holiday season, but it's spent all year long. Can you tell me kind of the core services of the Salvation Army?
Sure. So we do several things. The biggest one that we do is offer emergency utility assistance and emergency food service assistance for families in need here in Kalamazoo. And we have thousands of clients each year that come in either because they're out of food or because they can't afford to pay their utility bill. And typically that's because some kind of crisis has happened in their life. Somebody's lost a job, maybe there was a death in the family, maybe somebody got ill. Any number of things can cause those types of things to happen, and then they're stuck with maybe having their utility shut off, and that's certainly something you don't want to have happen, especially this time of year. Yeah,
absolutely. Tim, tell me about, and Andy Pepper from News Channel 3 is not with us here today, right, but he does something very special every year with the Salvation Army. Can you tell me about that?
Right. So Andy does an 18-hour bell ringing marathon for us. It's always the first Monday after Thanksgiving. This year it's November 26th. He starts at 6 a.m., ends at midnight that night. He goes all over town at kettles that we have all over Kalamazoo and Portage and rings the bell for us. And it's a way for him to raise awareness also for the need for bell ringers.
If he was here, I was going to ask him, and maybe you know the answer. What kind of arm training do you have to do to get the to get ready to ring that bell for 18 hours?
Right. Well, there's several different ways you can do it. You can go side to side, up and down, hold it in your hand and just kind of ring it down below you. So there's all kinds of different ways, but it can be a long day, especially when it's cold outside.
Absolutely. So Tim, tell me a little bit more. And we're talking with Tim Summers, Director of Development with the Salvation Army of Kalamazoo. Tell me about the experience of being a bell ringer. Singles, couples, families. I know you will take just about anybody, but kind of touch on what the experience is to be a bell ringer.
Sure. So bell ringing is a way for people to give back in the community by only volunteering 2 hours of their time. And everybody that I've talked to that's bell rang for us in the past or is doing it again this year, they always walk away from it saying how satisfying an experience it was for them. And if they brought their children, it was a way for them to teach their children the value in giving to the community. So a lot of people play music, a lot of people dance, a lot of people sing songs, bring their pets, they dress up. It can be a very, very fun experience, and it should be. And there's no solicitation. You're just sitting there standing there ringing the bell, saying Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you feel like saying, and smiling. And people are drawn to that. And if there's somebody there ringing the bell, especially if they're having fun, people will donate.
And we were talking a little bit about the process of becoming a bell ringer, website to go online, and then you put in your information. You choose kind of some times, and how do you kind of match the people who are interested in becoming a bell ringer and the needs that you have in terms of locations and times?
Right. So we have about 25 bell ringing locations throughout Kalamazoo County and Plainwell, and people can sign up very easily online. It's at www.registertoring.com. It takes about 2 minutes. You can pick your location, pick the day and the time that you want to ring. We're basically available whenever a store is open, Monday through Saturday. So there's all kinds of options for folks, something close to their home. If they have a need to ring inside, we have options for that as well. So it's a very easy process. And again, it's 2 hours of your time to help those less fortunate in our community.
And as you see the Salvation Army trucks go down the highway, you see the words "Do Good" kind of pop out in your eye, and that's really what it's all about, isn't it?
Right, it is, and really our core principle is doing the most good for those in most need. And even in times when the economy seems to be better like it is now, there's still a lot of people that are less fortunate than us. And when it affects children, it's even more noticeable, that effect. So the money we raise during Christmas time with our Red Kettles works for us all year round, and it's all used right here in Kalamazoo. None of that money leaves.
And we're with Tim Summers, the Director of Development for the Salvation Army of Kalamazoo. Tim, one more time, where can you go to register to be a bell ringer, and also some interesting things that you can find online about the bell ringing experience. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure. So on the K102.5 website,
yes,
there's an awesome link to the values in bell ringing and 4 great reasons to bell ring. And it also will link you to the Register to Ring website. And that website, again, is www.registertoring.com.
And you will find that listed, as Tim says, right at K1025.com. Click on Be a Bell Ringer. It couldn't be easier. Tim, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and we are so proud to partner with you this year on this Red Kettle campaign.
Thank you for having me today, and we very much appreciate all your help.
A No Talk Triple Play of Kalamazoo's greatest hits next on K1025.